What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Bluff guy. Hey! And we are back with another post chapter discussion. We will be talking about One Piece chapter 1062. And moving forward, right? Discussions, theories, all that good stuff. But before I get into all of that, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, hit that, or subscribe. Subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Also, comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the chapter and any predictions that you may have. Do you agree or disagree with anything we talk about in this discussion? Also, make sure you follow me on Twitch so you can catch my live streams as I am live and you can engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and make sure you come be a part of the community and join the Discord. All of these will be in the description box below. So, without any further ado, let's get into the discussion. Let me bring in the panel. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. We are live. Now, today we have our usual, right? We have the usual crew, the usual squad. Squidadad. We got Cube in the building. We also have
Hello.
D LaJoy Boy in the building. And we also have Angel in the building. What's up, gentlemen?
Nothing really.
Nothing really. Man, Angel always super serious. I love Angel out here. I love Angel. He always bring the super seriousness to the game.
I wouldn't say.
All right, well, I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on, like, just your opinions on the overall channel, the overall chapter. Not to get too deep into any speculation, but just what did you guys think about the chapter? Let's start with Q. What did you think about that chapter, Q?
I liked it very much, and I won't go into details. The only thing I'll say, because we're gonna have a discussion about it, I found it very nostalgic for me.
Very nostalgic. Okay. All right. D LaJoy Boy, what about you? What did you think about the chapter?
Yeah, pretty good chapter. Like really only one or a couple major revelations that the community has been talking about for a while. So nice to get some answers on that.
Okay. And Angel, what about you? What's up? What's good?
It was good.
It was good. Just good.
Yep, just good.
Just good. Okay. A man of many words. You gotta love it.
Hello.
Hello. All right. So, all right. Now let's kind of dig into this chapter. Right. Let's kind of go into this chapter, starting with the cover story. I mean, I don't really know what to say about this cover story. I'm not too sure what happened. We're in Cocoa Island, or Cocoa Town, I guess, and yeah. So, hold on. It's Chocolate Town on Cocoa Island. So it looked like a lot of people that's like petrified or maybe turned into some clay or something. Like Mr. 3 came through and like what did you guys like make? Like, what did you guys make of that whole cover story? Like, what happened?
I'm guessing so. Like how the cover story like started, right? Was like intruders on Cacao Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then like later on, my speculation is like Oda used the Vin smokes as a red herring, like make us think that those were the Vin smokes in Cacao. But like all the action there like took place on Whole Cake Island.
So you think it's somebody else? Like the
Yes,
Vince
like
Smokes? Go
I
ahead.
think the city is frozen.
Aokiji? Is that
Aokiji.
Yeah.
is that like
And
Aokiji?
my thought is also the whole Amazon lily was a red herring.
Mm.
I
Expect.
I think I think a Kainu or not a Aokiji and someone else from the Blackbeard Pirates, probably Shiryu, are going after Pudding.
I mean, and possibly the poneglyph. You know, there is a poneglyph on in Whole Cake,
But
right?
but as far as we know, no one else on the Blackbeard Pirates can read poneglyphs. But the
Yeah,
third eye of Pudding,
yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, maybe if Zebek is, you know, because remember that theory y'all talking about unpetrifying. Shout out to Addicts Martin for the follow. Appreciate it, appreciate it. But remember we talked about Blackbeard going after Boa, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so yeah, so if Blackbeard is going after Boa, like there was a theory that maybe he's trying to unpetrify somebody. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So if that's
Yeah,
the
that was my first thought with that chapter too. But if Boa was telling the truth,
yeah, but who is he? Who could he be trying to unpetrify if that's the case, right? If that's the
I
case,
mean, the
if Black,
main name rocks.
yeah, right. See, and if maybe rocks know how to read poneglyphs or something. I don't know. You know, that's not. We don't know that. You know, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All
Yeah,
right.
like but my only thought if Aokiji is there is that they'd be going after Pudding.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's still very that's you know that could be true. You're right. You think that might be LaJoy boy? You think that could be Aokiji? That's true. You know, because Blackbeard, I would assume would be going after the poneglyphs as well. Possibly. We haven't really seen him make any moves on any poneglyphs, but you know, if that is indeed Aokiji and possibly Sheru, which again we don't like. Blackbeard didn't take his whole crew to Amazon Lily. You know what I'm saying? So we
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what his crew's doing. So good point. Good point. All right. So what about you, Angel? Any thoughts on the cover story? Like what's going on at least?
Same thoughts as Joy Boy, but I thought they would probably be going after the poneglyphs.
Okay. I mean that could definitely be the case, right? It could be the poneglyphs. All right, so Cube. Hello?
Part of me agrees. I think it's because the only ice we haven't seen that many ice users. I think it's Brook, Yamato, and Aokiji, if I'm not mistaken. So the
NBC.
one that makes sense is what?
No, continue.
And what's it called? And shit. geez,
Monet,
what-
but she's dead.
Yeah, Monet. Well, that was the last one. So
Yeah.
that would be my best guess. Would be Aokiji. The one thing that bothers me with all of that is, let's say Blackbeard sends his entire, like he divided his crew, one in Ashinosu, one in Amazon Lily, and one going to Big Mom's territory. Would that mean that the fact that Blackbeard was himself to stop the government from, from going after Boa, means that it's more important than? That's a question I have as well. That's what bothers me with this thing. Why would he send like not himself at the emperor's territory, while he goes to Amazon Lily? You know, he could have done the opposite, gotten
My thought.
Aokiji to go pick her up. That's the thing that bothers me with that.
So my thought on that is like Blackbeard did say if the government's not going to go after it, and this was after we learned the 7 warlords were disbanded. So the government was going to go after them.
Yeah. No, I'm not debating
So
that.
and then like it also makes it more like a diversion, and that's why I also think it would be Aokiji and Shiryu, since Shiryu can go invisible. So it's like an infiltration thing. Then so they can get like the road poneglyphs and someone that can read it.
But yeah, so Aokiji, I like that. You know, I like that idea. Because I was thinking, I wasn't sure if it was ice, like if these people were frozen, or if it was like kind of like wax that Mr. 3 created, because it looked like it could be wax as well. But it really wouldn't make sense for Mr. 3 to have done that. At least, you know, especially since he's.
Something.
What do you say?
I want to say something before, you know, because we're gonna go to the subject of the chapter, and it's something that Joy Boy talked about, the whole Blackbeard after Hancock's Devil Fruit. Honestly, I'm more and more convinced that he's not going after rocks, because I think he just didn't want the government to have it. So most likely, I think it's like the government's version of rocks or something like that, like somebody from the past that they had on their side that was helpful, or something that was petrified. That Blackbeard needed it to awaken somebody. The fact that he didn't care not to have it if the government didn't have it. He was actually pleased.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I was going to say about that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but it's something significant about Boa's hand or devil fruit.
Yeah.
Regardless, you know, where Blackbeard took a interest in it. So it's just, what is it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's just a matter of what it is. All right. So anything else about the intro, the cover page? Anybody has to add? You know, I don't think it really was much. It just piqued my interest, right? It piqued my interest. I don't think that was the Vince Smokes who did that, you know, whatever that was, be it ice or clay or whatever. But yeah, anybody else?
I'm good.
All right, cool. All right, so let's get into the actual chapter, right? So we start off, you know, where we kind of left off last chapter about the whole Vegapunk introduction, right? Where we meet this girl. She said, "Hey, I'm Vegapunk," right? She's in this big old mech, and she comes out and say, "Hey, I'm Vegapunk." And last chapter we is all like, "Oh, you know, I don't think that really is Vegapunk or anything," and that was answered pretty quick. Like Oda really shut that whole thing down like that, right? Pretty much few pages into the chapter, we learned that the girl that we met is just a satellite, right? Like it's just only one of the many Vegapunks, you know. But this one was Lilith, the evil, I guess. I mean, I don't know. It really makes her evil, but Lilith. And then we also got introduced to Shaka, who's I think was called the Brain, and he was Punk 01. Did they say?
Yep.
Punk 01. Okay, so yeah, and then we also later got introduced to Punk 06, which was Atlas, which is weird because during the whole CP0 explanation, they said Atlas was 5 and not 6. But yeah, anyway. So we got introduced to that, and what's up?
I do have a thought on that, because it's weird that it isn't cleared up like with the official, right?
Yeah, it wasn't.
So, like, my thought on that is because after, like, they introduce himself as Atlas, Bonnie says it's a lie. Like, is it a lie? Is she saying it's a lie towards them being Dr. Vegapunk, or them calling themselves Atlas?
I think it was it being Dr. Vegapunk. I think.
Because like the only reason I think that is because like I I don't think Oda would mess that up that way, right? Like with the 6 on her dress and then it being labeled as 5.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. Like, so you're asking, is the lie that she's number 5 or number 6, or are you asking that
Right.
Bonnie was saying it's a lie that she's Vegapunk?
Right. Which one is she saying it's a lie to?
I kind of figured the Vegapunk part because I would think that she met Vegapunk, right, and that she's
Right.
seen.
But we don't know like how long how long ago he split himself up.
That's
yet.
true. That's true.
So and then just the diagram being wrong with the dress number. It
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Again,
it's either a mistake on Oda,
Mhm.
CP0 getting the wrong information, or them lying about who they are, like which satellite they are.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I would go more towards the idea that the lie is that she is Vegapunk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cause that's kind of one of the things that the cyborg like mentioned, right? Like the cyborg verbally said, "Yeah, I'm Dr. Vegapunk," and we know that that's not Vegapunk, at least not the original Vegapunk. So I would think that it's like she's saying, "Yeah, that's a lie. You're not Vegapunk." You know, that at least that's what I think. I don't know. Good point. I think it would be more than that than she would be saying at the number part. You know, but in the official she called him a liar, right? She said, "Oh, you're a liar." So they said, "No way. What's this liar talking about?" Right? So she just said like you're a liar in general. So meaning that you have a tendency to lie about things. So you know that could be like an umbrella thing. You know what I mean? Because I think in the scan it just said that's a lie, but in the official, she said you're a liar, saying like you lie. You know, like you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. It's a good question. Huh?
I have a question for all of you. Have you guys ever read it was before Dragon Ball by the main author, Dr. Slump?
I haven't
Yep,
read.
I
I haven't
have.
read it.
Yeah, well, basically, I got huge Dr. Slump vibes because, first of all, the design of how he did the robots is very similar to Dr. Slump, and I think some of the robots, because the bad guy is, I think he's called Caramel Man. It's like Kara, 01, so stuff like that. And the one thing that he's known because the main villain is called Caramel Man, and his goal is for world domination. And just remember that we have CP0 in that chapter, and the other person that's connected to CP0 is Mother Caramel, Big Bomb's mom.
Yeah.
And the robots, the evil robot I'm talking about, they said the guy that created it created one that was good, but they said all of his other robots, generally they said that's how they say it. His robots are just pure evil. And I loved how the Vegapunk, the one that talked, they referred to her as evil.
Yeah.
That's the same. So there are a lot of, and the thing with Dr. Slump is that contrary to Dragon Ball that people like to compare to One Piece, Dr. Slump is a similar one because it has robots, but it's very cartoonish. It has a cartoonish result all the time, and it's very funny, comical like One Piece.
Yeah.
So the designs are very similar. So yeah, which I really liked.
So yeah, I haven't seen Dr. Slump, but yeah. So I want to talk before we kind of really dig into whole more Vegapunk. I kind of want to talk about Jory Bonnie, right? Like we got a big bombshell that was dropped that was speculated all through the community, right? So you know, it was more of a confirmation of a ongoing theory that's been out there for a while. I don't really know who like was the first person to say this, but Kuma is Jory Bonnie's
Yep.
father, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think that is, you know, Oda just gave us something. You know, he's been dropping a lot of gems these past few chapters, and one thing we learned is Kuma being Jory Bonnie's father. So what does that mean for now on, for here on? You know, one thing that came to my mind, right? One thing that came to my mind is now I feel as though Luffy and Bonnie have a closer connection, right? Because both of their fathers
Mm-hmm.
were associates, you could say, like work together. You know what I mean? Like Kuma is a revolutionary like dragon, and like I'm just kind of curious where that could lead. You know, like where that could lead with Jory Bonnie and Luffy as far as them finding out their now. I think I kind of think it wouldn't matter because Luffy doesn't really talk about his pops or necessarily care. So I don't, you know, maybe it won't go anywhere. But any y'all got anything to add about like Kuma, like the whole reveal of Kuma being Bonnie's father?
Not really. It's it fits the Star Wars trope, you know, cyborg father, royal queen princess that we didn't know about. We found out about it, you know. So, but other than that, nothing more.
All right, Angel.
Um, nothing.
Dang, nothing, man. I ain't got nothing. I know LaJoy Boy got. I know LaJoy Boy probably got some gems. Hello. I think you muted LaJoy Boy. If you're in the,
Yeah, you're muted, man.
if you're there.
I
Yeah,
think he fell asleep.
yeah. I don't know what's going on with him. But all right, so okay, kind of move on. Continue with Bonnie. She knows, you know, she said something about Sabo, right? She said
Yes, yes.
she said something.
Finally,
All right,
go ahead,
Q.
go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. You
Nah,
obviously got something to say
I,
about this. So
I'm just saying it's
Hold
pushing
what?
more and more.
you're breaking in and out, Q.
Bonnie helped out Sabo and Vivi. It's I said coming more and more. My theory is that Bonnie helped out Vivi. That's why they said they haven't seen Vivi since the reverie broke out. The stuff happened, reverie happened. They said we haven't seen Princess Vivi since then. Pushing to that direction. They're saying she met Sabo. Maybe she met Vivi on the way as well. You know, Sabo said that he's the one who killed Cobra. So it would not be a stretch that Sabo was close to Vivi. Bonnie saw Sabo.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it.
So you.
Yeah, I wonder how a older Vivi is gonna look like. I expect an older Vivi if she did do anything.
Maybe baby, you know, like maybe she put her as a baby and you didn't recognize her. You know, they're not looking for a baby.
Yeah.
A baby.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead, Angel.
What if she just saw the same thing Sabo saw? Someone sitting in a throne. Or someone sitting on the throne.
Who?
Bonnie.
What if she seen somebody sitting on the throne?
Yeah, what if
Maybe.
she was there when Sabo seen it?
I don't. What the Joy Boy doing? He's still.
Yeah. Sorry. So my grandmother just got back from the
Oh,
hospital. I bet.
you good. You good. I just didn't know. I didn't know what was going on with you. You was quiet when we was talking about. I forgot what we was talking about. Kuma being the whole Kuma reveal. But
Yeah, I mean, like I always thought that Kuma was either her dad or she was the mom.
yeah, I'd never heard the mom part, but the dad, you know, the dad part. But I always knew that there was some connection. I knew there was some. Well, of course, we knew that there was a connection, but you know. But Angel, you said what were you saying?
I said, what if she saw someone sitting on the empty throne.
But nobody sits on the empty throne.
Yeah, what are you talking about? There's no king of the world. There's no
Well,
there's
hey,
no
Angel like asked if he just or she just saw what Salvo saw.
Nah, I know what you're saying. I don't know. That's one of the things we have
Yeah,
to.
nothing.
One of the things we have to wait to see.
But personally, I don't know. I wonder. It's kind of 50-50 on her knowing anything on TV, but that's it.
Yeah. But okay. Going back to Bonnie and Kuma, right? Hey, I kind of forgot where I was going. I forgot where I was going. Oh, okay. So Kuma, right? Like we know that Kuma gave himself up to the world government, gave himself up to the whole pacifista program. I think I forgot who was there that day when we was reacting. I think it was the Joy Boy. I think it was you, but
Yeah.
I think one thing we talked about, right, was Kuma giving himself up. Like we know that Kuma was this emperor or king, maybe not emperor, but he was a king of a country. So do you guys believe that Kuma gave himself up to the pacifista program to protect his country or possibly to protect Jory Bonnie? Because I asked this because it makes me think that Jory Bonnie has some level of immunity to being captured. Because when we look back, there was one point where Akainu captured Jory Bonnie, supposedly, right? So if that was the case, why did he let her go? Or now maybe she escaped, I guess.
What was it? Akainu capturing her or getting her back from the Blackbeard pirates?
It might have been
After her, and he left her for the government to make an exchange. But when Akainu appeared, they bailed, and so Akainu just took her and of course freed her because he had some royal ancestry. That's the gist of it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It wasn't like Akainu like went out of his way to capture her.
Well, yeah, because
she was already captured by Blackbeard.
Well, what I mean was Akainu had her captured.
Yeah.
Like, he had her.
She was all tied up when Akainu had her.
And her being a pirate, like any other pirate, it doesn't matter how Akainu would have like got captured him or got possession of that pirate. He normally wouldn't just be letting pirates go. Especially not Akainu of all people. He really don't have any sympathy for pirates. And I don't see him as somebody who is easy to escape. You know what I mean? So I feel as though he had to have let her go. I mean, she could have escaped. Maybe that's possible, but I feel as though he would have had to have let her go. Now that it's kind of making sense how she got away from Akainu, potentially, is what I'm saying,
I don't know. I think there's probably a little bit more to it, but who knows?
Like what?
No, I'm not gonna explain.
Explain.
You can't just say that.
Explain.
Not explain.
Explain. That's the purpose of a discussion. You gotta add. Give us something to dispute or go, or agree with. You gotta.
No, I'm not gonna say this because there's no evidence for it. So
it doesn't matter.
Just say it.
A lot of the stuff we say, there's not that much evidence for, but we talk. It's a discussion, speculation.
Oh, okay. I was saying, what if she's just a member of Sword?
Yeah, there's no basis for that. Why do you even say that, Angel?
You dummy, Angel. You
dummy. I didn't want to break his heart. Okay, thanks. Sorry, boy.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said anything, Angel. I'm joking. But nah, for real though. Yeah, I don't see that happening. I don't see her. I think Sword members are usually Marines, from what we've seen. Like, I I don't think.
Wait, well, take that back because Drake.
What
'Cause
Drake?
he is a pirate
yeah.
but a marine.
But he's more like an undercover.
Both, so.
But he's more of an undercover
He's
marine.
He's
or
undercover. He's
He's an
undercover.
undercover
Yeah,
pilot.
yeah, posing as a pirate.
Yeah, but what I mean is
Yeah, but
like
he's still a marine.
he's still a marine though. He's just undercover. It's like a cop. Like it's like there being a special agency of cops, right? Like a special task force of cops. But you originally have to be a cop. But that special task force, you might go undercover as a drug lord. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're still originally a cop, though. You know what I mean? Where Jory Bonnie
Somebody could be going undercover as a pirate.
That could be. But opposed to Drake, we know that Drake was a Marine though, because even when he was introduced before we knew about the sword, we knew he was a Marine or ex-Marine. He was called an ex-Marine, like he used to be a Marine.
Yeah.
But there was still a connection to him being a Marine though. You know what I mean? Jory Bonnie, we don't know. I mean, that could be the case. I'm not trying to cancel that theory that Angel said. I'm just saying, you know,
It's not a theory. There's no real evidence for it.
It was just a speculation.
Speculation theory. That's kind of what theories are. Speculation.
Theories have evidence, man.
No, not necessarily. A theory could be like a theory could be backed with evidence, yes, but not every theory has evidence. You know, you could say,
Well, if it has no evidence, it's not really a theory.
It's speculation.
It kind of is. It kind of is. Hold on.
It's more like a hypothesis.
Yeah, because scientific theories need backing.
Dude, that's semantics, guys. I think we have.
Yeah.
Semantic stuff.
Yeah. We have better things to do than split hairs.
I was gonna say something.
I'm looking it up.
I'm thinking, Ryan.
A hypothesis.
Oh yeah.
Hypothesis assumed for the sake of argument or investigation. An unproved assumption.
Yeah, speculation.
That's the definition of theory, bro.
No, it's not.
I gave you a definition. I gave you a Merriam-Webster definition. Doesn't say anything about it being backed with facts. It just said a hypothesis.
I thought you said that.
Huh?
Isn't that hypothesis?
A theory,
that's not a theory.
A theory is a hypothesis assumed for the sake of argument or investigation.
Yeah, that's a hypothesis.
Bro, I just defined theory, bro.
A theory. Okay. Theory. A supposition or a system of ideas intended to explain something, especially one based on general principles, independence of the things to be explained. Darwin's theory.
That latter half is pretty much just with backing.
Yeah.
You have some ground to build before making a theory. Hypothesis is you trying to build the ground to make a theory.
All right, well, we talk about theories, but whatever. All right, so, but about her, we don't have enough to say that she could be part of Sword. From what we've seen of Sword, they're usually Marines. You know what I'm saying? Like active Marines. And Drake is an active Marine.
He's not an active Marine. Drake is not an active Marine.
He was talking to Kobe.
Yes,
he has open
He
line.
Drake is not. Drake is a member of Sword, but that does not make him an active Marine.
He is an active
He is
Marine.
an active
What
Marine.
are you talking?
He's in a
No,
mission.
he's not.
He's on the
He's
ground.
Our angel, just give it up at this point.
Listen.
You're losing me.
Listen, Angel. Everything he's doing for Sword is also for the Marines. Him being a pirate is part of him being a member of Sword, hence being a member of the Marines. He is an active.
I would
Marine.
still assume he has his ranking of Rear Admiral still.
Yes. Freaking Angel, man. I swear.
Drake is not a Marine.
Say what?
Okay, Angel. Just stop.
All right, so Bonnie, right? Bonnie, Kuma, Bonnie and Kuma. So yeah, Kuma is Bonnie's father. I think that I personally think she has like a level of diplomatic immunity from being captured to a degree, possibly. Maybe not like, maybe it may not be like unlimited immunity, right? Like next time Akainu sees her, she might not be well protected. But that might have been like her get out of jail free card right there. You know what I mean? It's kind of what I'm thinking.
I actually believe that Kuma did give himself for the government, but I think it was either for me. I think there's a clear connection between Vegapunk and Revolution Army, especially when not this chapter, the one before. If you see how the Lilith the robot Pacifista introduced herself when she said Vegapunk, she was holding a helmet with goggles, a hat with goggles on it, and that same attire was worn by all the commanders with Sabo of the Revolution Army. So I think that he gave himself up, like the government has something, and it's a long con from the government and for the Revolution Army. Yeah. It's a plan.
Okay, kind of going into Jory Bonnie as well, and that's a good point. But it's a hat. So, but it could be the case.
Yeah.
We gotta see the actual Vegapunk first, though. You see if he has a hat like the real Vegapunk. You know what I mean? See if he wears like a hat like that. But we know Bonnie has been to this island before, right? So
yeah,
and as a kid when she came to this island, was this when Kuma first was a Chichibukai, first became Chichibukai and was working for the world government, and he brought her along, or was this like maybe Vegapunk still being a revolutionary, right? Like maybe he brought her because if Vegapunk and Kuma were revolutionaries, and Kuma came to this island to talk to Vegapunk or whatever, that could have been why she been to the island. Like what you guys think?
How long ago was Mads disbanded?
How long?
What?
Over 30 years ago.
You kept breaking up. You broke up like
30.
30.
30, yeah.
Okay. 30 years ago.
I don't know. I think she probably came when Kuma was a warlord.
I think it's I think it's even before that. I think Kuma gave himself warlord when I think after he became a revolutionary.
After he became a revolutionary?
Like he was part of the Revolution Army, and so basically then he gave himself up, becoming a warlord and Satan a guinea pig for their Pacifista project.
Because I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because I'm curious how long Vegapunk had this island, right? Because did she was this an island granted to her by the world government? Or did she have this island, or he have this island, he or she have this island when they were with the revolutionaries, but the world government allowed Vegapunk to keep the island? You know what I'm saying? Because I think that would be the question, right? Like, when did Vegapunk get the island? Was it post being part of the world government, or pre being part of, like, still being kind of a mad scientist or a revolutionary commander potentially? I think that would answer the question, because if she had it that long, the world government must have had to let her keep it, or maybe she got it from the world government, but if she was still, or he was still working undercover, they would still come to his island and be like, hey, what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be the question. Like, when did Vegapunk get this island? Or how long did Vegapunk have this island for? So yeah.
Island. So it's either this island is either Punk Hazard, so it was the island he was doing before Punk Hazard, or he basically migrated to that island after the destruction of Punk Hazard 2 to 3 years ago. Because I do feel like the cold climate, like Punk Hazard has both, but I do think like the cold climate islands are always referenced to scientists in a way. So I do feel like the cold climate is important for his studies. And that's why they do the studies in Antarctica, the huge science experiment. They used to go to the pole and south pole, the pole and the North Pole and the South Pole to do those researches.
When did they abandon Punk Hazard though? When was that abandoned?
3 years ago.
3 to 4 years ago.
Yeah, 3 to 4 years ago.
Okay,
so I think they took it afterwards.
Okay, so
but I'm gonna say, I think he's probably always had that island.
You think Vegapunk always had that island?
Yeah.
So maybe Vegapunk was working at Punk Hazard and Egghead Island at the same time?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Well, now the government knows about it. That's the thing that bothers me, is that if they didn't know about it, sure, of course, yeah, but the fact that they knew about it, why didn't they just, like, taken over it, Like, it does seem that it's Vegapunk's territory. Sorry?
Taking over what?
The island. Because, I mean, if they knew that this was what... Yeah, think about it. Vegapunk... Wait, I'm saying Vegapunk is what... Well, Vegapunk is one of the... Yeah.
Now, go ahead.
You guys can hear me? Okay. I hear you. I think Vegapunk, with the information he has, even now that we know what they're going after him for, I would not see them like they know Vegapunk has another laboratory and they do not take it over, or they don't have like men's on it already. You know what I mean? It does feel like it is his territory. So I do think they don't know about it, or they maybe recently found out about it. Because that would be weird for me.
Well, I mean, they have a military base right next to it.
Yeah, so I guess
so they wouldn't really have to take it over if they're under the presumption that they're working for him.
But his laboratory, and he didn't get like hired because they were interested by him. He got arrested and they gave him a deal. So I do feel like his laboratory must have at least been seized, or we would have seen stuff where it's not that full. The way it's done, it looks like it's untouched by anybody else in Vegapunk's people. Which I find
why didn't they go collect this stuff at Baltimore?
Did they know it was? I always assumed it was wait, that's the island where Frankie was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have government present, but they just left everything there.
I always assumed that it wasn't known that it was his. They didn't know it was his laboratory. They didn't know about the laboratory because Frankie came across it. That's how I remember it. Maybe I'm wrong. That's why I always assumed it was a secret laboratory that he was sent to.
It was his home island.
Yeah, but
I always assumed that.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's the thing that bothers me, is that why would that's the thing that bothers me. It's like I actually believe I agree with you guys. It just bothers me that they would leave if they know it's his laboratory. Why would they let it unscathed?
I mean, maybe they don't
the
know.
World government. Yeah, that's how I see it. They maybe don't know it was his laboratories or stuff like that, but don't know. It's very weird with Vegapunk.
Yeah,
what do they know? What do they not know?
I got another question dealing with Vegapunk. Do you think we can trust Lucci's instinct that whatever that island's name is, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it, is related to why they're trying to kill Vegapunk?
We'll talk about Lucci later. We'll talk about that.
I'm talking about Lucia Island. Like, do you guys think that he might be onto something with that?
Yeah, but that's the last panel. Blunt wants to do all the different panels before that. That's why.
Oh.
So yeah, Vegapunk. I don't know with Vegapunk. I don't know if maybe the world government don't know about the one in his home, But
all I'm gonna say is he's a weirdo.
It just depends. It
Well,
depends
there was a government presence like at the laboratory, wasn't there? At
Yeah, there
Baltimore.
No,
was.
when
Wait,
they
what are you
say
guys?
they were close to the territory, but they were not on it. They didn't say. Wait, let me check. I do remember they were saying the stored people were a nearby island. It's G4 Naval Base. It's not the Egg Town. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. But I got
They're
no
on a
question.
nearby island.
You talking about his current island?
I was talking about his home island. Like, how would the world government not know about that?
Yeah.
There
Know
was
about what?
marine presence there.
Yeah, not know about his laboratory.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe,
don't know.
yeah,
Maybe.
yeah, it's weird.
Maybe they know. I
And
don't
then
know.
Or they really
like,
don't care.
and then also with like them knowing that the Seraphim came from Egghead Island. My assumption is that the Seraphim have been under production for years. They would know where he's producing it.
What you mean, the Egghead
Like,
Island?
yeah, they would know about Egghead Island. Like,
Yeah, I think they do know about
Yeah.
Egghead Island.
if Vegapunk's literally there, I would think they would know where Vegapunk has been. Like all the places he's been within the 30 years that he's been under their control.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Marines know where Egghead Island.
So them not knowing about Egghead Island doesn't make sense at all.
Well, I wasn't
Because
talking
at
about
the end of
Egghead Island.
chapter,
I was talking about Baltimore. I thought we was talking about
I was
Baltimore.
my
Hugh
ideonist
was
is
talking about it.
yeah.
Oh,
What my ideonist is that no, with all that I do think it's accurate, but I also think that they might have known that importance of Egghead, but maybe they didn't know the full scope. Maybe they found out that basically all of his, because the thing that bothers me is that with all the fact that he did not recruit him because of royal stuff like that, they arrested him and he made a deal. I would not think that they would trust him to the point that let him let him control all of his different laboratories without supervision. That's what bothers me, and it does look like he doesn't seem to have that much supervision. So I think that they didn't know the importance of that laboratory until
think
they
they
found out
just
that
keep-
Vegapunk.
they probably keep tabs on him, or maybe what's his name? Shooting Morrow. What's his name?
Sentomaro.
Maybe Sentomaro is kind of, because he's Vegapunk's bodyguard, right? So
Yeah.
maybe he also keeps Vegapunk, and he's kind of like keeping an eye, because supposedly that's Kizaru's his uncle, but I don't know if that's like his actual uncle or more like he calls him uncle out of respect type thing. You know what I'm saying? But Sentomaro has a close relationship to Kizaru, at least. You know what I mean? So it just kind of shows that maybe he's like kind of a chaperone for Vegapunk. So he's just keeping the eye and reports back to the world government or the Marines.
Wait.
or maybe
Which
there's
also-
just cameras everywhere.
But that also gives me an idea, like, on the state of Vegapunk, like the actual body. Like, I wonder if they're like in a very crippled state at this point.
That could be it.
Maybe that's why they actually had to make the clones. It wasn't just to split up the workforce. Is that them themselves can't do it.
Yeah.
Dang,
No.
Vegapunk would have to be.
Because
Wait, but like,
wasn't
how many-
Vegapunk present on Punk Hazard when Caesar fucked everything up?
Was he present?
No, I think he had left by then.
Yeah.
I think he was gone by then, and Caesar was just trying to get rid of everyone else who stayed.
Yeah, I think Caesar, like, that whole island is supposed to be like nobody's supposed to be there or living there or whatever, and Caesar just kind of took over because
No, there was only prisoners. Yeah, there was only prisoners left there.
Yeah,
and
but
Caesar just
I'm
poisoned them.
saying other than prisoners, because they probably didn't care. But I don't think like Caesar's presence, I don't think is necessarily, or at least until that arc, I don't think his presence there was necessarily known. Like I don't think people were. I think it's just an island that the world government just kind of abandoned, right? And they just assumed it was inhabitable, so nobody would be there. Not like he's not supposed to be there, but they don't believe people want to.
Wait, what are you? Wait, what? I'm confused.
No,
now.
it was inhabitable because Caesar like blew it up pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the gas, and I'm
Because
saying
it was a very tropical island.
Yes, I
Yeah,
know that. I'm just saying that's the world government left, and they just assumed since it was inhabitable that nobody would be staying there. Is what I'm saying. And
they
they
left
probably
before it
they
became
probably left the say what
right. Didn't they leave before it became inhabitable?
they but they yeah, but
No, no,
They
no.
left.
It
They
became
left, and then
inhabitable.
Caesar. And
It
then
became
Caesar.
inhabitable. It's
go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
because of Caesar Clown. It's because of Caesar Clown. That's how he got his bounty. He made that huge explosion. Vegapunk fired him, and he got a bounty. He acted like he was. I think he hid in the gas, and they left the island because it was basically Chernobyl. Akainu and Aokiji came there because everybody already evacuated by then. And I think since they're Loga users, I think it doesn't affect them. They're elements. So I think that was the reason why they did their thing. And then Virgo, if you remember, Virgo's entire plan when we went to Punk Hazard, he was also putting the other marine ships away from Punk Hazard and those missing kids. Virgo was also disrupting the flow of the process of justice. That's why I think it was also very, very isolated. There's a lot of different factors.
Well, all I'm saying is like it was inhabitable, and then I think the world government pretty much abandoned it. Like they abandoned it because it became inhabitable, and then Caesar, it was just a abandoned island, right? And Akainu and Aokiji pretty much changed the climate of it, and Caesar just decided to work there because it was like nobody was there, and it was still had stuff that he could use, right? Like the laboratories and stuff. So that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, my question was if Vegapunk was present when it first got destroyed.
Oh, I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
And
That was
saying
my
I don't-
question.
I think so because
I don't think it was.
Yeah, I don't know, but probably.
Because
Yeah,
that
because-
could lead him to be in like a crippled state where he would have to be like in suspension pretty much.
Mm.
And then that could also be why like the government's like security on him is pretty lax.
That could be. But maybe they just don't, like. Go ahead, Cute.
I remember from the flashback for Punk Hazard, but you might have to recheck to be sure. There was an explosion. It didn't really affect the laboratory, but it affected, the outside of the laboratory. And Vegapunk was there with a lot of scientists, and you see it without his face. You see him yelling, and he even said that the bastard even forced the world government to put a bounty on my head. And then he fled. Then he left with the rest of the stuff. And I think Caesar Clown played dead. That's how I remember the flashback.
Because
that's how it went.
I think you're right, because I want to say Vegapunk was on Punk Hazard when Caesar did that.
Yeah. But it didn't affect the laboratory. It affected the outside. From what I remember, the explosion was really far outside, and it went into the air.
So, and then my fault, like you compared it to Chernobyl, like he could have like had residual effects from the fallout.
Yeah. So you think he's just not like in a state where he could just be escaping the world government? Pretty much.
Yeah, like I think he's gonna be in like a suspended animation or something. And then that's why he had to split his personalities up, not to like make the work easier and have more of them. That's my whole thought on it.
Cause I could see Shaka, like Vegapunk Shaka, he's kind of probably like the replacement, the replacement brains of Vegapunk, right? Like, cause he or she, Shaka, seems like they're probably the smart one of all the other satellites. So if Vegapunk's not in a position to really do much, maybe Shaka kind of acts in Vegapunk's stead, as the prime Vegapunk. You know what I mean?
Okay. I see now. This makes sense. So basically, I looked at this. So it seems like Punk Hazard was Caesar's place. From what I'm getting, is that Punk Hazard was where Caesar would do his experiments. And then the explosion experiment, Huh?
Are you talking before
And didn't
the explosion, or are you
and,
talking?
Yeah, I'm talking about before the explosion.
and didn't Vegapunk like come to like check in on him?
Yeah, Vegapunk came to check in on him, and
Yeah.
then this was going on, and then he had Marines with him, and then they arrested him. Okay, yeah, I guess
Did,
he was there when the explosion happened.
if that was Caesar's place, why did Vegapunk decide to leave that devil fruit there? The one that Momonosuke ended up eating. If like Vegapunk
I don't know.
wasn't staying, because
Maybe he thought it was safe there.
I mean, it seemed more like he created that devil fruit at Punk Hazard. That's kind of what it seemed like. But we don't know because
I mean,
again, we
maybe
don't
he
even
did.
know. We don't even know if Kaido
I
was
don't.
there.
I mean, the only reason why I feel like it's Vegapunk's place is because when Caesar sees Vegapunk, he's shocked that he's even at Punk Hazard.
The thing that bothers me is,
Like he says, "Why are you here?"
because how age is Caesar Clown? That's a question. Because
How what?
how age is Caesar Clown? That's a question.
Probably like,
Because he's 36. That would make him. So he would be barely 6 years old when Vegapunk was researching in Punk Hazard. Because Punk Hazard was a laboratory 30 years ago with Kid and Kaido.
mm-hmm.
So that would be weird that it's his island, that it's his laboratory.
No, I'm
If
saying what, like before the explosion, it seems like Vegapunk wasn't just there. Like
Well,
he wasn't there.
also Caesar
Like
was like
most of the time.
Vegapunk's like underling, so he probably
Yeah.
gave Caesar that island to do experiments.
yeah.
Yeah, that could have been the case.
All I'm saying the wiki is that he was 4 years ago. Vegapunk was the head researcher in Punk Hazard, and Caesar Clown was his second.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably around the time that Vegapunk like started experimenting on Egghead Island.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
actually, Caesar Clown got arrested, and he fled back to Punk. He apparently 1 year after his imprisonment, so like 3 years ago, he escaped and returned to Punk Hazard, and he used his Delph to purify the island.
Yeah. I mean,
But man,
Yeah, because he condensed it, and that's what Smiley became, right?
Yeah.
you know something? I just remember we was talking about the cover page, right? And how those people were either frozen or petrified or something. Wasn't there a thing on Punk Hazard where when the smoke hits you, you pretty much it petrifies you, right?
Yeah, that was Smiley.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but even before Smiley, when it was just the gas though, didn't the gas?
Yeah,
do the
yeah.
same thing?
I can't remember what the number is, but yeah, that's what it was.
Could that
Yeah, but I don't think
not
think
have
it's
been
that, though.
Caesar's doing? What happened
It
on
could have
Coca
been.
Island?
Hold on, where is Caesar right now? Where are they right now at the couple
They
store?
was in Whole Cake before, like,
Yeah, they were leaving Whole Cake, so
Yeah.
I mean, but Cacao is kind of. I don't remember how close it is to Whole Cake.
yeah, like we don't really know where they're at now. They was just kind of leaving wherever they escaped from, right? So Cacao is pretty much where supposedly, right? Supposedly that's where the Vent Smokes arrived, right? Like when we first got that first chapter and we seen the 2 feet, like the silhouettes, and we was
Yeah,
like,
but
oh,
like,
that's Ichiji and Reiju.
I
So
mean, the only reason why I doubt that I doubt this is because, like, why didn't he just do that use it against Katakuri or something? Use it at the island they were instead of using it at Cacao. Like, why would he choose to use it at a different island?
I don't know. I'm
And
just saying.
my thought on that also is why wouldn't Oda just show it being Caesar? doing it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing. There's nobody.
Like
So that's the weird
he's
part.
purposely hiding it.
I mean, that could be the case, but I'm just saying Caesar is there, and we know he had.
I know,
Because
like,
also with it, like
hold on, one at a time.
like it also started on Cacao, but like the first time we see the other Vin Smokes is at Whole Cake. I honestly feel like if it was them at Cacao, that Oda would have showed like a scene of them there. And
Mm.
also, like the raid suits don't match up with the silhouettes. But
Well, what I'm saying is,
Oda's silhouettes are never accurate, anyways.
But what I'm saying is, Cacao might be like the first island before you get the whole cake, right? Like depending on direction you're coming from. And when they arrived at Cacao in the beginning, maybe they were just arriving to Totland in general, and they had to eventually travel the whole cake. But I mean that's a good point. I'm just saying maybe wherever their ship is or whatever might be closer to Cacao Island, so they got to go back that way they came from. I'm just going off of what we've seen. Like, and you're right. It could be a red herring where Oda is really somebody else as well. But I'm just saying, if going by like the idea of that is the Ven smokes, because I can only just go by what we've seen so far, right? They came from that direction of Cacao Island, so that means when they escaped, they probably had to go back that direction as well. And as far as that, like that, what happened to Cacao Island looked like could have been Caesar's doing. But then again, it looked like even buildings and stuff were frozen as well. And I don't think the gas does anything to buildings. I think it just does that to people.
But it wasn't his
organic
gas
matters.
that did that in Whole Cake Island. I'm not Whole Cake Island, whatever, Punk Hazard.
And then even like talking about that, like it honestly makes me think it honestly makes me think like the gas was them trying to replicate Boa's fruit.
The gas is trying to replicate Boa's fruit.
Yeah, like that's where the Smile Factory and making artificial fruits were too.
Like the was it the sad?
Yeah.
The sad gas. Yeah. And I'm saying like maybe Caesar. I know, and Angel says
it is definitely a possibility.
And Angel said it's not his gas. I know that. I'm saying like maybe it's the sad gas that Caesar created. I mean I don't know where he would get it. I don't know how he would get it. So
again, the sad gas is for devil fruits, right?
The sad gas is the gas that was made that created Smiley.
No.
I thought sad gas.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What?
It's not?
I'll look it up real quick. Sad was for fruit, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
what was it?
Sad gas.
Hold on.
I'm looking it up right now. Because it was like H and then numbers.
After that, I'd like to pivot the discussion into something else that we actually overlooked and we haven't talked.
Okay.
It's the H2S gas.
Okay, yeah.
For what?
We know the importance of Nico Robin in the story, so we know a Vegapunk would know about her. And I think Vegapunk is not the type of person to praise because of strength. We know that Zoro wants to speak about Vegapunk, very curious about what it's about. But why? How come does Vegapunk at least have so much interest in Zoro? You know what I mean? It feels like he knows more than he should know about Zoro, even us.
Say that again. What was you saying?
Vegapunk, the fact that he when he saw the crew, he literally zoomed in and he told Lilith to be careful of the Devil's Pal, Nico Robin, and Zoro. He gave both their bounties, but I don't think so for Zoro. He would be focused because he's that powerful. I do feel like he knows more stuff about Zoro than maybe we even us we know. I do feel like there's something with Zoro because from all of them he was focused on Zoro. Well, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's because of his crazy power. I think there's more to it.
I think it was just he was being perceptive of the situation.
Yeah, that's what I think because like Zoro and Robin, they're always the ones that are serious. They don't get scared like the others or infatuated like the others.
Yeah, like
they're just the ones that are ready.
Cause the whole time, Lilith, Vegapunk Lilith, she thought she was in control of the whole situation, and it was more to show like he was aware or he was witnessing what happened, and he was like, "Look, you're not in control of the situation because Zoro's right there and he will kill you. Like he was just kind of making an observation more than.
That's the thing that bothers me, is that from all of them, and I do understand, and maybe he realized something, but I do feel that, and he brought out his bounty. His bounty is not that different than Jinbei and Sanji's bounty. It's not like he has a crazy bounty compared to the rest. Why did he literally he knew about the importance and how dangerous Zoro can really be. It does feel like he knows more about Zoro. That's what I feel like.
He even says they're interested in the crew, so of course he knows about them.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting from all of them, even though powerful. I do think that it's more about strength or power, because Vegapunk is, I think, most about knowledge, and I think Zoro might have something that might interest him, or something more interesting than we think.
I get what you're saying, but the situation at hand is he does know about the Straw Hats, right? Like he knows a good bit about Straw Hats, and in that specific situation where Lilith believed she had control of the situation, Zoro and Robin were the only ones who was like pretty much on alert the whole time, and they were ready to attack if need be. Yeah. And it was more like he was warning Lilith, like, look, just because the other ones are like infatuated with you or they're scared of you, pay attention to Zoro and Robin. They're ready to attack at the moment, so you might want to like chill. Like I think it was more of a warning. I don't think it was like, I don't really, kind of get what you're saying, but I don't think it was like something special about Zoro that caught his eye specifically. I think it was just like, he knew that if Zoro could kill Lilith if Lilith tried something. So it was more of a warning type thing, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Especially
you know how
with like Zoro's confidence, like with the situation they're in, like demanding Vegapunk for something.
Because he wouldn't have said Sanji. Like he wouldn't have said Sanji because though Sanji is nearly as strong as Zoro as well. Sanji also, if you know the Straw Hats, you know that Sanji probably wouldn't attack a woman. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really have much of a threat from Sanji. Frankie was infatuated with the knowledge and the technology and stuff. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
I always thought it's because of the link between Vegapunk has some sort of relation with the Revolution Army, and the fact that Zoro also has some sort of relationship with the Revolution Army. In the past, we've seen it in Zoro and Ace in the post-war arc.
Well, that's not really a connection.
No, it's not a connection.
They just sailed by.
Sanji probably has a closer connection to Vegapunk than Zoro would. When you look at
it, and again in the Emperor Flame chapter, the 54, when we also do the different revolutions in the different cities. Some of them, and you're the one who showed it, Joy Boy. They had the Shimotsuki crest. There's stuff that everything that there's some. Not saying that he's connected for sure, but there's something. It's not like he didn't show it a few times, so that we have seen also connection with Zoro, also connected to Revolution Army. So that's why I'm saying that there is something. I'm not saying that he is part or they're connected or they want Zoro. I'm just saying there's some sort of connection in some shape or form.
I just think that particular moment you're speaking of in the chapter, I just don't think there was more. I don't think it was any interest in Zoro other than, like, hey, Zoro could attack you, so I'd be careful. It was more of a warning,
If anything, the biggest interest in that panel is Zoro's interest in Vegapunk.
Yeah. But I would say like Sanji has a closer connection to Vegapunk than Zoro and Frankie as well, probably. Frankie more of his love of technology, but Sanji, because Sanji's father, Sanji's judge was one of Vegapunk's comrades. You know what I'm saying? Like they work together.
That Oda has praised his intelligence. Has interest in the one person that we know that's very interesting, Robin, and the one guy that we know close to nothing after 25 years. Anything that's about Zoro privately, Oda always overviews it. I just find it very interesting, But yeah, again, you guys are completely right. hope that there's more to it because it would give more deeper meaning to Zoro. Because every time he overviews everything about Zoro, other than the fights.
Go ahead, Angel.
I want to say something about Vegapunk. I don't really think. I mean, like I know like the Revolutionary Army thing is like from Kuma, but me personally, I just don't think he's in the army or a part of the Revolutionary Army because of the things he does. I mean, I just don't see like what would make him want to join, and like why would they agree to let someone like Vegapunk join the crew? Because like this man does experiments on animals, humans, like what? Like
Yeah.
it's just weird to me, you know, the idea of him being a revolutionary,
And
especially like when Sabo saw like how Kuma is as a cyborg, or when they were talking about Kuma in like chapter 1058, when they were talking to him when they got him back and how they looked at him. It's like I don't know. I don't know like what I don't especially if they're trying to fight for freedom. I don't know how they could work with someone like him.
Okay. All right. Cube, you sound like you.
yeah, because we had a talk the other day about it. Did Vegapunk was hired or he went there from his own volition to join the? No, he's a prisoner. Most likely he has no other choices.
But he's been doing it since he was a kid.
Since he was what?
A kid.
Yeah,
they
but
said it in the Frankie thing. They said he's been experimenting on animals since he was a kid.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
that's
you know
because
that's just science.
that's just science.
Like
what
that's
you're
harsh
talking
reality, but it's just science.
There's a
I know
difference
it's
between
just science, but
pacifista
like,
and animals. There's a difference between doing an experiment on animals and creating weapons of mass destruction. That's a big difference.
no, I'm not talking about the master second. I'm just talking about him, like especially with the Punko too, and her interest in like trying to subdue natural instincts for those for that shark.
Yeah, but for me, I honestly I don't think so. That would be something that would block, considering that the role of the Revolution Army is to change the world, and you have literally if you get along or you have a similar objective with the main guy that makes all of their arsenal, their scientist division, I don't think so you would fit on it. I do feel like they have common interests.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I mean, I could maybe see him wanting to have a revolt, but like I don't see him being a part of the Revolutionary Army, like the army that Dragon has.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is like on the lines of Cube, yeah, Vegapunk is a prisoner of the world government. So when he has Kuma there and he's doing these pacifista experiments, I'm sure Kuma would probably start telling him about the Revolutionary Army, like in kind of like a confidence thing. Because I mean, he knows like his mind's gonna be gone soon, so why not just talk about what they're trying to do? So I think at that point, Vegapunk could start believing in like the revolutionaries' cause, but he knows he's still a prisoner here.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be like aiding them under the table somehow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think we'll just need to see more on certain characters to see if.
Oh, and then like Angel also like noted the primal instinct stuff. That's also like I think that's what Vegapunk did to himself. Like, and that's why they all like they're almost like the Deadly Sins, like the satellites.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
since
those would be like the strongest feelings,
you
like
say
in a human, right?
I think since you're talking about the satellites, I think that's a good segue into the final part of the chapter, right? Where we get the CP0 agents and we got Kaku. He's pretty much talking to us about the satellites. He's telling us about these satellites and almost gives you the pain vibes, right? Where you got
Yep,
Nagato
the
and then you
six
got
past the punk.
the six paths of Punk, right? So we got Punk 01, who is good, Shaka the good. And I'm reading the official right now, and I'm not reading the. I think the scans might be a little different. I think because I think in the scans he's the brain or something. I'm not too sure. Or Logic, he's Logic. But
Yeah,
in the
Logic, yeah.
official is Punk 01 good, Shaka. Then we got Punk 02 evil, Lilith, and Punk 03 the thinker, Edison. Which I think that one was different as well. I don't think it was thinker.
No, it's wisdom.
Wisdom.
The trait is wisdom, and it was given finger.
No,
I think.
well, Punk 04
No,
is
there's
wisdom.
another wisdom.
Yeah, Punk 04 is wisdom.
Yeah.
Pythagoras. And then the controversial one, is it's not really controversial, but you know, it's confusing at the moment. Is Punk 05 Violence Atlas, right? Which was 06
That's
in the on her number. That's what.
because she looks very similar to the Dr. Slump the main hero, the robot, a girl that's small like her. You know, the hair is different, and the one thing other than her intelligence she's known for, he said that to defend herself because she has a good heart. She's extremely violent, and so she has the only thing she has super strength, and I think he calls it violent mode or something like that.
Yeah.
You guys should check out Dr. Slump. They're like those 6 satellites. They give a lot of ideas with it. Yeah.
And then we have Punk 06 Greed York. So that was pretty much the explanation of Kaku, giving us the explaining to Lucci, like, hey, you know, these are the different punks. And why was he explaining to Lucci, you might ask? Why was he explaining these different punks to Lucci? Is because they plan on killing Vegapunk and killing all the. Well, they just said we got to kill all the Vegapunks, which I'm assuming goes for the real Vegapunk as well. But it just said all Vegapunk, so it could be implied just to kill off his clones. But I think he's kind of in that as well. And then we see Kuma. We see the Kuma Seraphim. So I think things are about to get interesting because we know that CP0 are on their way to Egghead Island. We know that, you know, the Straw Hats are there, right? So it's looking like we might get a rematch. Luffy versus Lucci, the part 2. And then we're going to have Kuma Seraphim, meaning that could potentially be the reunion of Bonnie and the Kuma Seraphim. Which means, what if the Kuma Seraphim actually, because they called it the problem child. Why they call it the problem? They called Kuma Seraphim the problem child. Why would they call it? I think they called it
Little Brat. I think they called it Little Brat in official or something like that.
Yeah, and this one seems to be a little bit older than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely have thoughts on that.
Well, what's your thought?
There are 2 things that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
So my thoughts on it is that the Kuma Seraphim was the first one, and like I want to believe like these are like Vegapunk uses the same technology that Judge was talking about, like making the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what Vegapunk did was, instead of like aging them all the way up immediately, was making them young. And I think Judge said it took 2 years to make the artificial soul. So I want to say that Kuma was the first Seraphim made, and then the rest of them came after.
Yeah.
And the Kuma Seraphim was the kid when he was initially made, but they probably have like faster aging.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the
I
Kuma,
think the next time we see like the Boa Mihawk one, maybe not the next time, but eventually they'll be like teenagers. They won't be little kids.
Okay. What was you gonna say, Cube? You break.
So for me, I really I agree with the idea that so for me it does show that considering that he seems older than the others, maybe all the pacifistas, so they have all their age will, and they maybe like they do get older like judges clones. And I would even go further than that. And in the way you see, if you look at Rob Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy, and if there's a real fight, so let's say the trio, the usual trio, which is Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, I do feel like we might get something about Sanji because he's gonna be facing a woman, and I'm more and more starting to think that that's what I'm starting to believe, that when Sanji, his mom took those medicine, emotion pills, and it gave him more emotions than the rest of the kids, and I think he has too much emotion. I'm actually wondering now if Sanji is like not Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where the project of his father was like Vegapunk, and it was like inherited will, and so Sanji can literally be a devil fruit user, a human devil fruit user, and by taking those medicines, the dormant part of him is also active. That's why he can't control his emotions. He can go simping to extremely violent to depressed, and I think he cannot control another will or the same result.
I don't think Sanji's fighting Stussy.
I don't even think Luffy's fighting Lucci.
Yeah, I'm kind of think it could probably be a little different this time. Cause like while you was talking, it made me think like maybe it could be more like Zoro fight Lucci or something, and maybe Sanji fights Kaku or Stussy fights Jory Bonnie or something.
I can see Kaku and Lucci wanting to fight them, but I think the Stussy girl is probably gonna keep them in check and have them focus on the mission because they can't be causing too much damage on the island.
But the
like
mission,
Kaku said.
the mission is to kill Vegapunk, and I don't think the Straw Hats are gonna let that happen though. So they're going to have to fight if they want to complete the mission. Because the Straw Hats not.
Yeah, but they can just leave. They don't have to stay there.
Who could leave?
The Straw Hats, they can just go to their ship and leave. They don't have to stay there and fight.
They're not gonna leave.
Yeah,
they're not gonna leave.
Yeah, I don't think.
What do you mean they're not? Why are they obligated to stay there?
Because they want answers from Vegapunk.
Yeah.
I know they can.
Bonnie literally
and Bonnie,
gave a reason. Yeah, she gave a reason for the Straw Hat to liberate somebody.
Bonnie is the princess of this arc.
They can be with Vegapunk then. They don't have to.
I don't think they're just going to leave though, because again, CP0's not just going to let them leave with Vegapunk. They're going to have to fight.
Maybe they won't reach Vegapunk quick enough. Maybe they'll learn a lot of stuff before they even get there.
No, it's
Angel,
bro,
I have a way to do.
Doubt it.
Yeah, it's building up that it's going to happen because we got to see.
I know.
This Kuma Seraphim is going to have to come back somehow. It's going to have to play some major part. So Oda's not just bringing CP0 just to barely miss the Straw Hats.
Yeah,
Vegapunk. Oda's not building all this up just for them to. It's going to be some conflict, bro. He's not just teasing CP0 coming there just for them to miss the Straw Hats and Vegapunk. It's going. They
can just fight the clones.
Even if they leave, you don't think CP0 is not going to chase them? Like they're going to follow because they got to complete their mission, and they're very one track minded when it comes to missions. It's like, hey, we gotta complete.
Yeah,
this mission.
but the Sunny got to coup the burst. They'll be gone.
But they're
Angel,
still
I have a
gonna
question. I have a
eventually catch
question.
up with him.
Oh, what's up, Q?
Sabaody, they used to be enemy with Hachan, and they were willing to, after they known him for half a day, they made peace. After half a day, they were willing to go to war with the Celestial Dragons. You don't think that people that Kuma defended their ship, Bonnie gives an interest, and we have two members of the crew, three members, Frankie, Robin, and most likely, and Zoro must have an interest on Dr. Vegapunk. And they're just gonna let the CP9 Rob Lucci, that CP0 that Rob Lucci that Luffy knows very much.
That too.
Yeah,
But
so you
that's
think
just-
Luffy is gonna decide to just leave and let all of that go? No, he's gonna fight.
I mean, they can leave with Kuma. I mean, they can leave with Vegapunk, but Kuma, that's not even the real one.
Angel. Let me ask you this, Angel.
Just
let me ask you
just
this.
look in the
Angel.
VC chat real quick.
Let me ask you this, Angel. Let me ask you this, Angel. When has Oda ever written to the Straw Hats to avoid a potential conflict? Like when does he say like, hey, I'm gonna bring these enemies to this island, but I'm gonna have the Straw Hats escape before those enemies show up?
Well, not before. I mean, they can escape during their invasion.
I'm asking you, when has Oda wrote this? Something like this to happen.
During?
Not,
I mean,
that's not like Big Mom. Like you could say Big Mom, but that.
I know I'm saying that like they can escape during it. Like they can escape during the attack.
So then we'll have no
escape?
conflict at all.
Why would they escape?
What do you mean? There could be a conflict. What you can know that they're coming. Maybe it'll be a close thing.
Why would
but they'll be able to
though?
make it just in time.
Why would they escape?
And what kind of tension is there? Because after coming off to Wano, like the Lucci just landed, but we're leaving at the same time. Bye. We accomplished everything.
I'm saying they could escape during the invasion.
Angel.
Which is what I was thinking.
Angel. Let's look at this. Let's take a different route. I kind of want to take a different route. All right. Let's look at the behaviors and the personalities of the Straw Hats.
Mm-hmm.
Are they the type to run away from a conflict? As long as we know them, like that. That's not like somebody like Big Mom that they just cannot beat. Like people that they actually have a chance to defeat. And I don't see CP0 on no Kaido or Big Mom level where they're running from somebody like them.
I mean, if the fight is just gonna be like 2 panels, then it is what it is.
That's not the question. I'm saying, when have they run from a fight? When do they run from a fight? That's not a fight that's just gonna be one-sided against them, like Big Mom. When do they run from fights? You think Luffy's gonna be like, oh, let me run from somebody I already beat up?
like he has no reason to fight him though. Like they can just leave.
Okay, what reason is there to run?
What reason is there to run? Because someone's life is in danger.
Oh, then that's the reason to fight him. That's the
whose
reason
life
to
is in
fight
danger.
him.
I know, but it would be easier to just leave.
What happened in Whiskey Peak?
Oh my goodness.
What happened in Whiskey Peak between Luffy and Zoro? Why did Luffy want to beat up Zoro? Because the food thing, and he fought, not knowing the people, they just fed him. People that he has been enemy with are back to do again horrible stuff that he has already witnessed. He knows what they do. They know they're assassins. And a guy that has helped him in the past, and Frankie even said it, if it wasn't for Kuma, we wouldn't have our ship anymore. And Kuma protected our ship. And he knows it's behind Vegapunk. And we hear Bonnie saying that I have to go see Vegapunk with my father Kuma. He gave himself up. You think of all those information.
Vegapunk?
He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight him, dude. That's his character.
Bro,
I know, but like,
what's the point? Like, I know he's gonna let's say he fights Lucci and defeats him. Like, what's the point of seeing that again? He's not gonna kill him.
It's not gonna be Luffy fighting Lucci anyways.
Oh my goodness.
It'd be probably him against the Kuma Seraphim.
There's never a point in Luffy fighting most of the time. He just fights because he thinks it's a good thing. He doesn't think about it. He just goes head first.
You think Luffy's
are you even reading the same story as us?
Bro, I'm reading it, but like I just you know what? I'm gonna just be honest. I don't want to see it. I just
Okay,
don't want to
that's
It's
see it.
not gonna
bro.
be. It's not gonna be Luffy versus
That's
Lucci.
look,
I
Angel.
don't want to
That's
see
your
any Straw Hat fighting
Angel.
any of the CP0 people.
Angel.
And
Angel.
if it is, it's just gonna be him clowning on him, which it would be fun to see anyways.
Angel. That
Yes.
that's a personal opinion, which is fine. I get it. It's nothing wrong for feeling that way. But you asked what reason do they have to fight, and then you answered your reason like literally right after, because they're trying to kill Vegapunk. Luffy is not running from a fight. He's not going to think. Luffy's not going to be like, you know what? We don't have no reason. When have you ever seen Luffy say something like, I don't have a reason to fight him. I'm gonna go, even though he wants to kill somebody.
The only thing was Bellamy. The only thing was Bellamy, because there was no reason to fight, but he has a reason to fight now. So, like Angel's whole thing,
I'm telling you, man. I don't
don't.
care. I don't think on to this. I don't want them to fight, and I don't want to see it.
That's fair.
So you'd rather have them run?
Yes, I'd rather just see them run away.
That's the worst outcome.
Yes.
Than seeing just Luffy clown on Lucci, because that'd be funny as fuck.
All right,
if it was Luffy versus Lucci.
All right, but okay, so we gonna move on from that. Let's move on from that. So we got this Kuma Seraphim, right? And they call it a brat. You know, in the scans called him a problem child. One thing that kind of make me think is maybe the Seraphim might actually have some of Kuma's actual, like his actual conscience in it. So we can't bring the original Kuma back, but the Seraphim could actually potentially play or replace Kuma somewhat. You know what I mean? Because it's odd that they're bringing this Kuma Seraphim back to the same island where we know that Joribani, Kuma's daughter, is. So, this is what I kind of thought. This direction I thought Angel or the Joy Boy was going to go. Like when you say you had a speculation on it. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Why are they bringing this Kuma unit back? Is he going to play some type of... Does he have the same devil fruit ability as the original Kuma? Is another question.
No. They said that in this chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a good question. Like, why are they bringing it there when they're gonna kill its creator?
Yeah. Also, there's something that's
a good question, though, Angel. That's the same thing I thought actually too. My bad, Cube.
I do have a response to that, but I'll let Cube go.
Yeah, I was gonna say because it was before that, but then the whole craziness of Angel happened. I also, we were talking about the prominent child thing. I find it very interesting because remember, if you look at all of Vegapunk's creations, they all have the numbers of their model, and he has a 3 and a 6. And I thought, because I looked at the Vegapunk stuff, I'm thinking that what if this Kuma has the maybe like it's like the Lilith who's number 3, the Edison is number 3, that is like the thinker or the smart one, and Atlas is the violet one. So I do think that it could be a mix between both.
You said Kuma has 3 and a 6.
Yeah.
You sure that's a 6 though? Because Lucci's head is covering it, and they just look like wings. I see what you're saying, because it do kind of look like it could be a 6, but you can't really see the full number.
Yeah, maybe it could be just wings, but it's
just that simple.
Yeah.
If you go back to the last chapter,
yeah,
pretty sure. The big robot, I think, has the same symbol on it. Yeah. I think it's the big. It's the second to last panel, or second to last.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's their wings.
I think it's just the Vega Force symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I found it very interesting that because it looked like a 3 and a 6, but you guys had me right for once.
Yeah. Okay, so but yeah, what was you was gonna say something? Or was you finished, Cube? Because I know you was kind of going on.
No, because the rest of the stuff is about that, so it's debunked. So
Okay.
Yeah,
no
we
worries.
just shut it down. So
All right.
Yeah. So no point in going forward.
All right, Joy Boy. What was you saying? You saying you had a
so like on the same thought of like the consciousness transferred to the seraphim. In the last chapter, like they stated, we can't get rid of like the primal instinct. So I think it's more of like almost like a transfer of their strongest will. And since Kuma was a revolutionary, like his whole thing would be going against the world government.
yeah, exactly, and that's why he's a
So
golden child.
that could be like the primal instinct that transferred over through the seraphim process. So he's not going to listen to orders.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna like classify him as a defunct.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I think he could potentially get Kuma's conscious, you know, and that's kind of like a roundabout way of bringing Kuma back. You know, like his original
like
body
that,
might be gone, but go ahead.
Like there could definitely be something like through Bonnie, like triggering him to come back.
Yeah, true.
For sure.
True. And okay, and I kind of want to segue into like maybe my last one of the last thoughts I kind of had, right?
Oh, hey, wait, before that, can we go back because we didn't talk about like what the demand Zoro could be wanting from Vegapunk, I don't think.
What demand Zoro wants from Vegapunk?
Yeah, like yeah, he said, "Hey, we have a few demands." And so, like, one of my thoughts is it's got to do something with the smile fruits, because Zoro had the strongest reaction to the failed smile fruit users in Ibisu Town.
Yeah.
So I think that could be one of the things, because he said a few things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. What are y'all thoughts? I don't really have a. I don't have. I didn't. It's not one thing I thought about.
This is what I think it most likely will be. If it's something that if it's something that was shown to us, like information that we know that we don't know Zoro is interested in that, but something that is not a secret. So I think I agree with Joy Boy. But if it's something that we've never heard, because Zoro is there's a lot of secret around Zoro, mysterious, other than his fights. It could also be something connected to, like, maybe we might get a flashback and something that's dear to his heart, and maybe Vegapunk has the answer for it. Shit, it scared the hell out of me with that voice.
Also, Lunarian stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
I think
I think that I think Vegapunk's name has maybe come into the maybe Zoro has heard a few times, and also it was triggered with Mihawk, so maybe he could have told him stuff, and maybe he told him about the Vegapunk.
It could be something.
You never know.
It could be something about Kuma as well, maybe, because it seemed like Zoro and Kuma also had somewhat of a connection during Thriller Bark,
Yeah, he did say a few things, so it could be all three of those.
Yeah.
Lunarian, Smile, and Kuma.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. That's something. It's not. I actually kind of missed that part a little bit.
What if it's during the 1 week skip that we got after the Wano fight? Maybe Zoro found out something that interests him, and then he saw Vegapunk, and maybe we'll get a flashback with that 1 week, because we've been getting pieces of that week. That would be interesting. I don't know, but
because
that would be interesting.
Because the first thing that comes to mind, like what Zoro could have done, was go to Ryuma's grave, where he would have found out about him slaying a dragon. Zoro could have said, yeah, I've done that too, and then well, no, he slayed the last living one.
Yeah.
And he slayed the artificial dragon on Punk Hazard.
Yeah.
So there could be a connection there,
I got a
and
question.
that could be why that was hidden.
I got a question for y'all though. What did Kobe tell Luffy about Vegapunk, and was Zoro there at the moment when he talked to him about Vegapunk?
He told him about I think it was the ships. He was talking
Yeah,
about the marine ships.
I think it was Ennis
With the
Lobby.
sea prism stone.
Yeah.
And Zoro was
I think
there at the moment.
yeah, I think it was Ennis
Uh,
Lobby.
He
I
should
don't
have
think
been.
so. I think it was just Luffy and Kobe and Helmeppo.
I think Zoro was
Well,
there
I
No,
mean,
too.
Zoro was
Zoro
there.
was
Zoro was there.
Zoro was
Zoro was
there.
Cause Zoro
Yeah,
also
Zoro was there.
Zoro also knew Kobe at that, like Zoro also had like a kind of had a friendship with Kobe as well during that time, so it would make sense that Zoro was there. Like he was excited to see Kobe, you know.
Well, yeah, he also shit on Helmeppo when they both tried to attack them, so he was definitely there.
Well, I was thinking maybe
In
something
both
that was
times.
said at that
Both
moment.
times.
I was thinking maybe something that was said at that moment could have triggered Zoro because Kobe was telling him about Vegapunk. So. Or because Kobe was talking about the Sea Stone, right? Like Kobe was talking about the ships and how they have Sea Stone on it, and we know that Sea Stone is made in Wano, where Zoro has a
yeah, it's nice.
connection.
Yeah,
Nice, interesting.
So it could be something about Sea Stone, you know, or like maybe what does Vegapunk know about Wano? You know what I mean? Since he's able to create Sea Stone stuff or utilize the Sea Stone. Just saying, you know, that could be the case. But all right, but yeah, I wanted to talk about. There was something I kind of wanted to. One of my final thoughts about the chapter, and it was kind of the segue of what we talked about a little bit about Vegapunk possibly being part of the revolutionaries, or could put, or no, it didn't have nothing to do. It was this idea that CP0 wants to kill Vegapunk now, or the world government wants Vegapunk dead, obviously, right? And CP0's mission is to kill Vegapunk and all the Vegapunks. So, and one thing I've been talking about, like one thing I've been talking about a lot, especially with this cover story, is the potential reunion of Mads. Like we got Caesar and Judge possibly about to meet up. And then we got Vegapunk, who was part of Mads as well. Now he's pretty much about to be discarded by the world government. So that kind of leaves the future of Vegapunk. Like, what is the future of Vegapunk? Because I don't think Straw Hats are going to let him get killed. So I'm seeing either maybe a Mads reunion or potential him going with the Revolutionaries. You know, but I'm kind of liking this whole idea with Mads because we're getting Judge, we're getting Caesar, potentially Alliance, right? And maybe if Vegapunk travels with the Straw Hats for a bit and then reunites with them, or I don't know. I would also like to add Queen there, but I don't think Queen. I think Queen is out of the picture for a while. But what you guys think? Like, what's up?
I mean, I could see him either going with the Mads, but I don't really know about Revolutionary. I mean, I already said my take on that.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, I kind of like, because I personally like the whole Mads reunion, personally. Because it's weird that we might see a Judge and Caesar reunion during this arc, right? During the same arc with Vegapunk. You know, I think that could be a bit of foreshadowing, in my opinion. Because why didn't Oda decide to wrap up this whole Vince Smoke thing up in Wano? You know, he's doing it in the same arc. He's introducing Vegapunk.
Yeah,
but
that is true.
But
something I'm good.
Go ahead, Q.
Gonna take Joy Boy's word of 40 minutes ago, which are very accurate. I think it's gonna be revolutionary because, at least for now, right now, in this arc, the princess that Luffy is helping out is is Bonnie, and I do think that before we get Matt, we're gonna at least see how the plot will further because it will be around the Bonnie storyline with Vegapunk and Kuma. And so right now I see it more obvious of maybe be connecting to Revolution Army before Matt, but that's because what we had in those last two chapters.
Yeah. They did bring up Lelougia a few times as well, but well, what did I say? What did I say?
I don't know where you're talking.
Yeah, I don't.
You said something about Lucci.
Oh, okay.
Lelouch, stop it. My only thought would be
Go.
if it wasn't Uranus that was used, that it would just be a weapon of mass destruction made by Vegapunk.
Yeah.
And then that's why they don't really need them anymore. That's like my major thought on that. But also, like, go ahead on that. I have a completely different thought connecting to Vegapunk.
Or Joy Boy, kind of bouncing off of your theory, right? About now that they have, like when you talk about Uranus needing a Nefertari, right, bloodline, now that they have everything that they need as far as using Uranus, maybe they just feel as though they need Vegapunk anymore. You know what I mean? Especially if they got Uranus and Vivi. Let's say
that could be the case too.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah, because that would surpass anything that he could make if it. Yeah, for sure.
So I like what you just said, Joy Boy, because it's one of my theories that I've been thinking now. I don't know if I know I talked about Angel about it, but I'm more convinced now there are more than 3 ancient weapons, and I think devil fruits are basically ancient weapons. The difference between them is that devil fruit users don't generally the will of devil fruit don't generally have the right host. That's why it's so. And while ancient weapon basically reincarnates in the right person, so the power is much bigger. Because if you look at stealth foods like Kaido or Whitebeard, it could compare to the power of an ancient weapon if it's used correctly. And devil fruits are ancient weapons. They're devil fruits that have powers or weapons from the past, from 800 years ago, ancient. So I think there are more than 3 ancient weapons. It's just the 3 ancient weapons that Imu does not have.
All right. What was you saying, though, Joy Boy?
That is interesting too to me.
Sorry?
So I got like a couple things. So with like what I was saying with Vegapunk like being in suspended animation, like that's kind of how it was with Pain too. Like Nagato was like severely crippled, like he was very sick, and apparently like I saw a discussion like that's actually a very like common thing that's used, like with the 7 members, one being crippled, and then like there's 6 vessels.
Oh yeah.
Like the Naruto wasn't the first one to do that, like with the whole Pain situation.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads me to believe that too. But like then also I was thinking, what if by the end of the arc, Vegapunk is able to reabsorb his clones? Like we know Oda likes Dragon Ball a lot, so that would be like a very Cell situation.
I don't know.
And then one more.
Go ahead.
And then one more thing. So kind of also what on Cube was talking about, like we've seen like back in Ohara there were more than there was multiple moons that surrounded the One Piece world. I really wonder if Vegapunk having 6 satellites is a clue on that. And then also coming back to what Cube was saying about multiple ancient weapons, what if it's 3 and 3?
Yeah. I would even say it's 3 and 4.
And then like the moons are the ancient weapons. like they harvested something from the moons, which made them ancient weapons.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like when you go to the translator notes on the scans, they kind of like most of the names of the satellites have something to do with moons
Yeah, 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 for
constellations.
sure.
You know, Lilith
I
is
think
the name of a fictional second dark moon of Earth. Um,
there's Thomas Edison.
Atlas was the titan that carried the world.
Yeah, in the heavens.
Yeah, and
Pythagoras is I know what it is. It's the
Pythagoras.
the Greek mathematician. Yeah, and there's also something with the moon crater. Pythagoras.
Pythagoras.
It's a name for, yeah. And
He's
York is the
dinosaur
only
creator
one.
too.
York. I googled. I didn't find anything connected with on that theme. It's still a mystery why York. And he called it greed or something. So that's the only one that's very interesting.
Yeah. So yeah.
Obvious. Yeah.
So yeah, that's but y'all got any other things, any speculations or anything for the chapter? That's pretty much everything I got.
Vegapunk will die.
Okay, thank you for that. With no basis, nothing, just screams Vegapunk will die.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, sure, y'all got anything else? Angel says Vegapunk will die. That's all he got. What about you, Cube?
Actually, I do feel like, because I've been saying, I've been hoping for it, and it does follow certain things. I do hope that they will go the Punk Hazard pattern, and where, there are similar stuff. But one thing I like about that happened in Punk Hazard, at one point, Law basically gave an explanation of the inner working of the underground. So I would like to have a moment where Vegapunk explains like the full scope of the dark side of the government. Like, what do they exactly control, and what are their current mission, more in deep in that. So I hope Vegapunk will clear some stuff up for us.
Okay. Joy Boy?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I pretty much got everything out that I wanted to.
Yeah, me as well. Me as well. All right. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Comment down below your thoughts on the discussion. If you have anything to add, or do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know your thoughts. Also, make sure you guys follow me on Twitch so you could catch me live, full in effect, and you can engage with me in real time. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and join the Discord. Come be a part of my community. Maybe you could be a part of a future discussion stream where we talk One Piece. Anyway, y'all, I got Cube, Dealer Joy Boy, and Angel with me. Y'all have a good one. I'm Sean P. the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.